So, please let me know if my voice is audible exactly. So that's why how can I proceed, right? So is my voice is perfectly audible to you all? So please let me know, right? Is my voice is perfectly audible to all? Perfect. So mm, just get the question down here. Let me know the things happening. Is my voice is perfectly audible to all? So, mm, so hello guys. I think you should all be line. Wait for a minute. So hello. Please join this chat session. That's why I can understand how what we are going to do the scenario. So this is how. So hello everyone. So hope you joined the session. If you are not, then please join faster. So all right, the session is perfectly fine, running fine, right? So let me proceed you with what we planned and what are the queries you have, right? So many of them having doubts like what is the career bootcamp is all about. So let me clear you all that what we are planning is we are planning to make the student is industrial ready, right? So the main aim of these courses is that you are able to understand how the things are working in in an organizations, like how to understands the industrial level. And from these way of learning that we are proceeding towards the lecture, ultimately our goal of this SQL bootcamp is to make yourself understandable how the things are working in PLSQL, right? Cursors, triggers, and so on. So we are understanding the things through this manner, right? So if you have any query, you can ping me. So don't worry, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience of the last lecture, right? So I'm not able to configure my microphones with the system, right? So let me proceed with my team first. So we all are currently having 5 members, right? So 5 trainers over the sessions in career bootcamp. Everyone having their own domain through which they are going to deliver you something, right? Like I am certified by data structures and algorithm design. First of all, I have to introduce myself. That is, my name is Shashank, and I am currently working as an employee in top MNCs. So I am certified in data structure and algorithm design by Microsoft. And right now, what I am doing is I am working on a Spring and advanced Java topics, right? And as well as my strongest part is Oracle database. So I just want to let you know why we are choosing Oracle in at the first beginning stage, because Oracle is the only thing. If you know the Oracle, then only you can implement SQL injection, then only SQL injection will be impacting CH, right? So we will understand in a manner, right? So everything is working in a series. If you understand the things, then only we are proceeding towards one to next, right? uh, Again, after a couple of days, we are planning to start our core Java sessions. So whenever the core Java sessions we are going to start, then we will let you know. So if you want to learn advanced Java, before advanced Java you should be familiar with the concepts related to the Oracle only. So whatever we are planning, what we are planning and what we are planned are in planned in such a manner that it impacts your level of learning in such a manner in that you can be able to understand the things properly, right? So I don't want to waste your much time. So what makes you, so what are the expectations after the finishing this course, right? So after finishing the course you are able to get the recruited by the best companies all over the India, or you can say that if you are dealing with in these situations, dealing with best data structure techniques, then you are able to top placed in a top MNCs, top service based product based, as you want, as your dream company, you are sure you can easily get placed. And as well as if you are already placed, and it will upgrade your positions, right? So I don't want to waste your much time, and I just want to start you with the basic of SQL, right? So what is SQL is all about, and what we are currently doing, right? So our first topic is SQL, right? So as you all know that few years back we are dealing with file handling, right? So there are a lot of techniques. Just a minute. So few hours. So did you know that before computer are introduced, there are set of data are stored in a file system, right? So file system that are on hard copies, right? So every bank is having their own databases in the form of hard copies. Then file handling is introduced. So file handling is introduced in such a manner that we will understand how the things are stored within a file, right? So but if a bank is situated at a particular position, and someone wants to deposit their money or withdraw their money from far away from their city, then this is not possible. So every file will be interacted with some sort of techniques through which they can interchange their data, right? So what is then after what database is introduced. So database is a way you can apply any sort of data like distributed data. You can access the database with anywhere from anywhere you can access the data, right? So SQL is nothing but a way to learn the conversations. If you want to convey conversation with someone, you have to know the language of it, right? So SQL is nothing but a language of communications, right? So if you understand the communication, then only you can interact with the person, right? So this is similarly, if you want to interact with the database, you have to learn SQL. Through SQL, what you can do is, which is SQL is nothing but structured query language, which is used to operate all the relationships, relational databases, products, models, anything you can say. The best ways from SQL you can interact with the database, right? So in which manner we are going to learn, right? Many of them are having doubt like in which way we are going to proceed, right? So in SQL, we are proceeding in such a manner that first of all, we will simply start with our very first SQL languages. What is the SQL languages? SQL sub languages, right? After moving SQL, after learning SQL languages, we will move towards operators in SQL languages. Then we will proceed to NVL commands, then functions, then group by clauses. Our ultimately goal is to learn PLSQL, and before PLSQL we should familiar with the terms like whatever we learned in SQL, right? Like group by clause. After group by clause we have to understand joins, then constraints. SQL language syllabus, you can say this as a SQL language syllabus. Constraints, right? Constraints, then we are going to learn subqueries, queries, queries, subquery, then correlated subquery, ted subquery, right? Correlated subquery, sequence, caches, tag views, synonyms, index, set operators. What is the meaning of set operator? So set operator data conversion techniques like TCL commands, that is transaction control languages, and locks. So then we will proceed towards normalization. So like what is normalization? How we are going to proceed normalization, right? So we will understand normalization, the concepts of normalizations, types of normalizations, why we need normalizations, why the most important topic. This is the most important topic you would say, because every company accept this phenomena. So we have to understand this beauty of this concept, right? So after this completion of this, we have to switch over PLSQL, which consists many of the important topics like cursors, triggers, and so on. So if you are preparing for an internship or intern on the trainings, then these are the topics which are most in demand. Like if any of the organization, if you are going to sitting in campus interview processes or placement drives, the most important, these are the most important concept, and don't exclude this is the very important topic. So our main aim is to cover these all topics in within a 5 to 7 days, right? So if we studied 5 hours daily, then we are able to finish the topic, right? So don't think about much about these things, right? So today what we are going to cover is languages, right? So today we are going to cover this topic. So just comment it out here, right? So we are dealing with SQL sublanguages. So what are the SQL sublanguages are there? So there are DDL commands. DDL stands for data structure languages. So what is DDL commands? What what is the meaning of DDL commands? DDL commands data structure data definition language, data structure data definition languages. So data definition languages, whenever you are applying any operations on table, that is under data definition languages. So you have to understand that any operations which take place over the table only, that is data definition languages, right? So create command is there. So through create command, create command, create, and another one is alter table name, alter. Then drop command is there, truncate command is there, rename command is there, right? So these are the things which we are going to deal with, right? So data definition language consists of five different sub languages are there. So in sub languages, is of other types. So don't think that that is only one type. I'm going to cover each and every. So just think that DDL is one of the part, right? So we will cover these things. Don't worry about it. So that is only for DDL commands, data definition language. That is create command. So suppose whenever you want to create a table, then we use create table, right? Create table name. This is the syntax to create any table, right? So let us demonstrate with a live example so we can clearly understand like this, right? So we have to connect. I am using Oracle 10G. So Oracle 10G is, you should install a database into your system, right? So I have to connect this. I have to apply my username. I have to apply my password, right? So after connecting into it, what I am going to do is, suppose if you want to view all the tables in your database, then this is the command which is used to display all the commands, all the tables in a database, right? So these are the tables in my database. Okay. So clear, CLSCR. CLSCR stands for clear screen. Suppose these are the random query I entered and I want to clear the screen. Then CLSCR is used to clear the screen, right? Suppose I want to create a table. So I can create table name. This is the syntax to create a table, right? So this is the syntax to create a table. I want this table, like I just want to this. Suppose I want to create a table for employee ID and name, and I want the name of the table is EM. Suppose EMPLO, Y E, employee. Suppose I want to create a table whose name is like this, right? So suppose EMPLOYE. Suppose I want to create this table. I want is, I want IDs of number type, and name is of character type. So the data type which is used to store ID is integer always. So we can create the table through these things into our database. So we can create using number statements, and you will use varchar, right? So if you have any query, you can ask simply on me on WhatsApp. Otherwise, I will available on live chat by the next session, because I forgot to activate, right? So don't worry about it. If you have any query, we can clear it out, we can sort it out, so don't worry about it, right? So id and number. So we just simply go to our statements right here. SQL statements. Suppose integer employee id. I want id of type number. Suppose there are 10 digit id, and name is of varchar type. So in this situation, what I am going to do is, I just simply write this query and enter. What is this said? Employee table name. Oh, sorry. Either here I make the mistake, right? Table name is employee, so no need to write employee. And then enter. What it returns? It returns table is created. So here I just said that you have to check the tables through select asterisk from table, through which you can check. Yeah, exactly. Why I don't write EMP is my table name? Because EMP and employee, EMP and EMP, if they are going to insert, if we are going to insert EMP again, because EMP is already exist. If you want to employ, then it will gives you redundancies, errors, because this is a duplicate copy of that error, right? Understanding or not understanding? Suppose if you want to display, select a stick from EMP, EMP table, right? Which is already present in our databases. So did you think that this is working? This look like very bad, right? So to set this, we have to use set page size 200, set line size 200. Then after I will have going to apply select stick from EMP. Then it looks very nice, na? Because here line problem as well as size problem. So we will eliminate this problem in such a manner that now this is very systematic. We are able to view this very clearly, right? So create table is used to create, right? We will understand how numbers, how varchars, right? Alter command. Now our next topic, next is alter, right? सो हम क्रिएट कर चुके हैं, अब हम एल्टर करेंगे, राइट? सो एल्टर, एल्टर में क्या होता है? एल्टर में देर आर थ्री थिंग्स, राइट? थ्रू द हेल्प ऑफ एल्टर यू कैन परफॉर्म थ्री ऑपरेशंस. You can add them, add, you can modify, and you can drop, and you can drop, right? So alter table name. Suppose this is, suppose let's say insert a data into it, right? Because if we are going to set a value into it, then only we can add a column. Otherwise what the thing, chalo, disk, we will see the table through description, right? So description table name is employee. So it look like this, like id and number. We have two things, id and name, which is of id is of number type and name is of varchar type. So I want to add a table, I want to add a column into it, right? So what's the syntax? To alter table, table name is employee. Add is used to add a column into it. So I want to add salary over it, salary of type integer, and I am going to write int, right? So right, integer or number, you can say anything, yeah, it works on database to database, right? So number, we can write number, salary number type 10, right? And hit enter into it, right? So now we will see the description of that table, right? So this is look just look like that, like this, right? So underst I think you understand the beauty of this concept, right? Alter is used to add a column into the existing table, right? Similarly, modify. If you want to modify the type of any particular column name, then you can do it. So let us do it. Okay. Alter table name, that is employee. Modify 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 column name, that is sal, to where char type. Yeah, did you see the beauty of this concept here? Just check it out, right? So here, if you think, if you see, the salary is of number type, but whenever we alter our salary, modify our salary to varchar, then it displays like varchar type, right? So alter is used to add columns into table, right? Similarly here, and alter is used to modify it, right? And third one is drop. Alter is used to drop a column, right? So alter table name, right? A table name is employee. Drop column name, that is cell. So table is altered, and now we will check the description of the table. Description of the table, employee. Yes, here you see the table is deleted, right? And the column is deleted from that particular employee table, right? So until what we understand is add, modify, drop, right? So alter drop, we studied alter drop, now we studies drop table. So before study drop table, I want you to let know that the meaning of truncate command, right? So if suppose we are having the data right here, I am going to insert the data into database, insert into employee table, right? Insert into employee. There are two, like one, and suppose I insert Aman. Oh, sorry. Yeah, insert into table name employee values, right? Employee values, right? So insert into employee values, we insert this. So now we can able to see how much, so what the database we have, right? So select asterisk from employee, this. Now we are going to insert again, like I want to insert two double quotes Naman, right? So again we see this employee table like this. So if we use truncate statements clear all the data inside the table, right? And drop table is in drop and drop syntax is used to delete the entire table. This is the difference between both, and this is the most important questions which are asked by the interviewer, right? Truncate is used to truncate the data inside the table, but drop is used to delete the table from the database, right? So understand the beauty of this concept. Whenever we are applying truncate command, so let me check. Okay. So whenever we are using truncate statements like truncate table name, yeah, listen very carefully, there is always a syntax of everything in the database. So you have to understand the syntax and the beauty of that concept, right? So truncate table table name, that is employee. Whenever we do like this, the table is truncated. What it means is, whenever we are going to apply the certain operations like viewing this, the table doesn't have any record. Yes, the table having mm, the table structure, but the data will be lost, right? Table is having the table structure. Through truncate command, the table is having the table structure, not the data, right? If you understand this concept, then you are able to understand what I'm trying to explain you, right? So if we will description if we saw the description like this, then we will clearly understand, oh right, id is present, name is present, but the data is not present, right? So these things really matters a lot. Now what I want is, I want to delete the entire table. I want to delete the entire table from the database. So drop table employee. Whenever I do like this, the table is dropped. Then if I want to see employee table, I want, I can't able to see that, right? If you see the table, all tables, then this see, are you seeing? This is the concept of, see, listen very carefully. What I want to explain you, very very important concept, which many of them are don't know, but the a very very experienced person will know this concept only. Before data, this is the our database. Before Oracle 10G, whenever you are applying drop table, the table is permanently dropped, right? But after Oracle 10G onwards, from 10G and after 10G onwards, whenever you are going to delete the table from the drop statement, like whenever you are writing drop table name, whenever you are writing drop table name, the table is dropped permanently before 10G. But after 10G onwards, if we want to drop permanently, then what you have to write is, you have to write another statements like, to permanently drop a table, drop table table name, and you have to use purge. This is very 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 important topic, very very concept, very important concept, right? So very 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 important concept, right? So drop table purge is used to drop the table permanently. But suppose if you don't want to delete, and suppose anyhow your manager is said ki do these things, and unfortunately you drop the table, then no need to worry about it. In this situation you have many options, like you can retrieve the data from the database through flashback commands. Flashback, flashback table, table name is employee 2 before drop. Flashback is completed. Now we want to see which table is present. So if you see, oh wow, employee table is again retrieved, is the data is also retrieved, but we use truncate command, that's why we will lose the data, right? So we'll check it further. Select stick from tab. Okay, then we will select stick from employee table. Unfortunately we used truncate time and the time, if you know, right? So we already deleted the data from the database, so don't think so much about it, right? So your table is successfully retrieved, right? If you are not able to apply the truncate data, then we can easily get, right? So in this, whatever we learned today, whatever we learned yet, ddl commands, create, table name, right? I alter table name, drop table name, oh drop statement used, truncate. And one more thing, if you want to merge two and more than two tables, then we will use merge statement. But merge is not a DDL, right? So many of them subqueries are there. Don't worry about it. Truncate, and one more thing is rename. Rename table name. So you can through you rename the table, right? So don't worry about the concept. We will learn sequentially one by next, right? So you can rename a column too, and you can rename. So in LT table we learn three concepts, right? And you can also rename. If you want to perform any calculation, you can also alter table rename. Okay, so let me demonstrate this. Description employee table, right? So here, if you see ID, I want this ID, rename this ID as employee ID. So alter table name, that is imply, rename column old column, that is ID, to new column, that is employee ID, right? And enter it. And again, you want to see the description of this. Oh wow, employee ID is converted into employee ID through this, right? So don't think too much about this concept, but yes, this is mostly ask concepts, right? So there are where is my this, right? So this is how we covered our DDL commands, right? So there are DDL commands are there, data definition languages, data manipulation languages, data retrieval languages, right? So what we are going to learn next is data manipulation languages. Data manipulation languages was one of the most important topic, right? Then transaction control languages, and data control languages. So there are basically five types of languages which we are going to deal with, right? So we will cover DDL commands and DRL commands. Unfortunately, DRL commands is nothing but data retrieval languages. Data retrieval languages is also known as data query languages, right? So data query languages, query languages are those which is used to retrieve the data from the database. Exactly, the data retrieval languages is nothing but select statement is you under no or not. Select statement is nothing but a data retrieval languages. You can say that data query languages too, right? So transaction control languages. Yeah, I will cover data manipulation language. Don't worry about it. I'm just uh, give you the basics regarding this, right? So just control and delete. Data manipulation languages, very important concepts. If you understand this concept, then data manipulation languages, right? So understand this, like insert insert statement, insert, update, delete, and merge. Merg, sorry. Mm, merg, sorry. Merg. Right. So insert, update, delete, merge. Suppose if we want to insert a data into database, then what we need is insert statements that we already covered in our last session. But again, we are going to see the demonstration of it, right? So in insert statement also, so we will cover like this, right? So don't worry about it. Hash maps, right? So so data manipulation language, in data manipulation languages, insert type. So insert is also of three types, right? So there is different techniques to insert the data into database. I will give you the example of three each individually. Suppose This is employee table, right? So if we want to insert the data according to the column values, suppose this is our table, this is id, this is name. I want to insert data into this position only, I don't want to insert in this position. Then we will use our first insert statements like this: insert into employee, right? So this and column like this, column like impid, right? Right. So if we show the table like this, we only having employee id, we don't have any name, right? This is the first technique to insert the data into database. I want to insert on both the places, so I have to write the query like this: insert into employee table values, employee values, and I have to insert like employee id, that is suppose let's say 4, and I want to insert the name as Chan, right? So whenever we are going to retrieve the data from the databases, then it look like this. That is really nice, right? This from by this only we can insert the data into database directly. For each, for to insert database like this, I have to specify each column, and there is no use of specify the column insert into it, right? So the third, so so this we already covered. Second statement to insert the database at both the positions. And if we want to insert multiple records, multiple records, then what is the case through which we are going to insert, right? So just wait it. Mm, I am going to explain you this concept. So insert insert into employee values, right? And I am assigning at the rate side here, at the rate empid, comma, at the rate name. But name is of character type, so we have to encode it that into a double quotes, right? Enter employee id 1, name Jishan, right? So one is inserted, right? Then you no need to write this query again, just press slash and enter 2 and Nishan successfully. Then this, understand the beauty of this concept, you can add multiple values like 5 and the name is like Kishan, right? So select a stick from employee table, right? So if we see like this, then we can understand, wow, Jishan, Nishan and Kishan, it how frequently they are going to set, right? So it saves my lot of time, right? So in industry, whenever they are going to insert data, large and huge amount of data, then they use like this concept only, right? So this is the best concept ever which we are going to use, right? So don't worry about it, and don't take too much pressure regarding these concepts, right? So we will cover the next topic next, that is insert update statements, right? So this is update. So just take me my cursors. Update, update statements, very important concept. Suppose what suppose if you want to update the name where employee id is 3, then you have to you have to know this that why we are doing like this, right? So update So update, you want to update. So the statement of update is only one statement. Update table name, that is employee, set column name, that is name, is equals to new value whatever you are going to assign. Suppose oh sorry, mm, suppose Mohan. All right, where you have to specify the that where you have to. So this is the operator. Don't worry, we will let you know what exactly it means. So one row is an updated, right? Update table name set column name which you want to update is equals to the value which you want to update on that particular column, where the condition is there that at which specific position you want to update, right? So we just see what actually it does, right? So exactly, if you understand, this Mohan is assigned to this name column where the employee id is equals to 3 at particular employee id, right? So this is the beauty of update concept, right? So practice more about it. Suppose if you don't suppose in this condition, let's suppose say you never specify like this. So if you hit the enter button, if you hit the enter button, it will update the value of the whole column to Mohan. Suppose, let's see this. What it means is, whenever you specify a particular condition, then only one row is updated. But whenever you are specifying, then five rows updated. Why? Because five rows data. So what result it makes is Mohan value is assigned to the each row of that particular name column, right? So select a stick from employee id, employee. Oh, now you see what is the importance of where concept here, right? So so this is how you have to understand that why we will use where statements, right? So delete. So again, our next topic is delete, right? Delete, delete statements. So whenever you want to delete from a table, whenever you suppose you want to delete the record of this table. Suppose you want to delete this Mohan from this employee ID where name is equals to Mohan and employee. So delete from table name where condition is there, where emp id is equals to 1. So no, sorry, 4. Suppose one row is affected. Let's see what happens. Oh, did you understand? Delete from table name where employee id equals to 4 deleted the entire row, right? So whenever you want to delete a particular row, then you will use delete statement, right? So this is how, so this is how we are going to learn, right? So in this manner we are going to proceeding, right? So today, in today's session, what we will cover here is data basics about data subquery languages like DDL commands. We already covered data manipulation languages, that is already covered. Create, alter, drop, truncate, rename, that is DDL commands. Data manipulation language like insert, update, delete, merge, this all commands we all covered, right? So data retrieval languages data retrieval languages like select statement, you can say data retrieval languages, or you can say data query language. Both the languages are used to uh, do the task to retrieve the from database, right? So after data this task, what we will done is uh, data retrieval language, data control language, transaction control language is right there. So we have to speak, we have to learn that also, right? So whenever we are going to commit and rollback command. So whenever, suppose I want to save this data, so in games, whenever there is save point, the game is to save that particular position, right? So here commit statement is there. Suppose I this committed, what it means is, whenever whenever until yet, whatever I do, that is saved into my databases, right? I just roll back command. So after rollback, you will get to the previous commit, right? And save point. There is three options. Save point. You can apply save points too, right? So, mm, so transaction control language, right? Transaction control languages consist three queries. Commit, that we already discussed. Commit, save point, just similar as our real life implementation, and rollback. So rollback is stands for wherever we left our last session, right? So until yet, today, whatever we are going to, whatever we discussed, if you understand these things properly, and if you have any query, so sorry about the chat systems that are disabled, but from next session onwards, I am going to enable these chat options so that you can directly interact with me, right? So don't worry about the things which we are not being shared to you all, but we will what we are planning to do is, after each and every sessions, we will assign you some small sort of assignments are there, and if you have any query, we will discuss it in further lectures. But the more you practice with databases, and the more you understand the queries, we will understand, right? So what we actually are doing. So whatever I completed yet is what is SQL, types of SQL, scope of SQL, right? Subqueries, data definition languages, manipulation languages, data retrieval languages, transaction control languages. So one thing is remember, that is data control languages, that is grant and revoke. Whenever we are studying at our the most important topics like TCL locks, when we are going to study that topics, then I will explain you what is TCL, because at that time you should know what actually they are mean about, right? So what credentials we have to provide the administration department, what actually administration department is going to provide the credential to the users, right? To the employees. Suppose you give the access of full read write retrieval access to the database, then database engineer, suppose a developer, then he can do with anything, so it might be affect your job also. So what we are supposed to do is, we will control their accessing. So don't worry, until whatever we completed, if you have any query, you can reach us at, I will going to share you a assignment after these sessions, so don't worry about it, right? So until, sorry for the delay and inconvenience which I made. After this completion of this, I will give you assignment, right? So assignment will be shared you among the groups, and please complete the assignment, because it consists many of the different types of things that we are dealing with, right? So many, if you have any doubt, you can ask, you can free to ask anytime, right? After, from tomorrow onwards, I will able you URL through which you can interact with the people, with the persons directly, right? So don't worry about it, and do the assignment properly. If you have any doubt, you can reach with us, any one of the team member, right? So from today 6 p.m., I think Vivek is going to be take our CEH batch, right? So he is a very experienced guy. So certified ethical hacker is he is, and attending many various seminars that you already need to know. He will let you know what exactly he did, and what you are supposed to do, right? So he will teach you very very well. I'm going to share you assignment links so that you can interact with the courses very well. And this is how we are finishing the sessions, right? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for, right.